And so I just feel like she's not disappointed me, nor would she care. But she is still a huge family. Well, I'm going to show you this. So this picture was taken, if you can see it. That's a picture of Emma kissing an Oscar, and it was taken by Andy Cohen, I might add. And she's holding, coincidentally, Rachel Weisz's Oscar. And we were at a restaurant, and we just like, there are all these special moments that I've been fortunate. And Jess Cagle says, what's interesting about Lunch with Bruce, and I say this also with humility, is you're one of the few people who are actually on the same side of the velvet rope, so to speak.
Right.
There's a very interesting take on it. And that's just a result of, I think, being a good person, a nice person, and knowing great, talented people. But I know I'm talking a lot. I think what people respond to me and why Lunch with Bruce works so nicely and beautifully is because I treat the waiter who comes to the table and the busboy the same that I treat Jennifer Aniston. And it's, you know what I mean? It's people are people.
And I'm sure you don't have to mention any names, because I do that to people, but I don't do it to many people. I'm not going to do it to you, but I'm sure in your circles in Hollywood and nights out, you go out with many people where you're like, they always say, look at how someone treats the wait staff. And like, it's true, right?
Yeah. If someone's dismissive, that's a hard thing for me to come back from.
Yeah.
Whether they're a celebrity or not. Usually I kind of cut them out a little bit. Like, all right.
I get it. Well, no, I agree with Jess Cagle. That was like my point earlier too. I think, like, not to use my own show title, but you are on the same side of the rope. And that's why, well, I love your show title, Lunch with Bruce. It's great. I mean, but that's why it works, because you are an insider and these are truly your friends. And when they're not, you still can interview them from a different point of view.
And that was the skill set I really tried to hone in on. And that's what I think was great about quarantine time. Now looking how everything works, from going back to being a page to quarantine to this now iteration, is everything was happening for a reason. So if we do our job right, and I lean in and I'm serious with my questions coming in and I'm having a good time, there's room for, I think, this show to continue to grow and be certainly a show that when you are on like the circuit of doing press, that your publicist will say, okay, these are your TV things, these are your radio podcast things, and I could be on that, hopefully.
I think you're already on that. That's been Sirius and Bruce, I don't know. I think Jennifer Aniston, from the minute she opened her mouth, put you on that. That's my opinion, honestly. And then it was a great episode, and then it got press. So I think there's nothing more. And then you followed it up with 2 other great guests. And now you tell me you have Andy and all these other people coming. So I think you're already there. You're very humble. We'll wrap up in like 2 minutes, I promise. But I was going to ask you, would you want to interview Erika Jayne?
Wow, that's a tough one for me to answer because she scares me a little bit. So yes, from a conversational point, I would. I think, my heart kind of breaks for this woman and what was actually happening behind the curtain in her life. And I truly believe you can be married to someone and not know who they are 100%. And you can judge how she lived her life and you can judge how she spent their money and her money and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think so. So yes, short answer is yes. The answer right behind it is I'd be sweating a little bit because I think she's tough. I mean, but I think I could create a space that hopefully she'd be comfortable in talking about it when she's ready to talk. So yeah.
Just putting that on your list. And I love, in what world are you nervous about interviewing? I know you know Madonna, but who is nervous about interviewing Erika Jayne and not Madonna? So that just shows you why Lunch at Bruce works. This is the final thing. The best moment in Housewives history, I think all Housewives fans would agree, was Andy's baby shower.
Epic.
Which you were heavily involved in. It was epic, right?
It was epic. So Kyle Richards really was the force behind that, though she co-hosted with a number of people, but she not only, she was really the force. It was so funny because it was just like a nice groove. It was like people would walk in, it was like, woo, then the lunch. And then it felt like, oh, okay, like this might be wrapping up. And then it was like, no, Rinna was like get the F up. So I had women on these tables that are, if you put too much weight on the front of the table, it's just gonna flip. And I was like, I got very stressed. I was holding, tables up. I was like, these faces are gonna be smashed. But it's the gift that keeps giving. I mean, it tore, broke the internet, and it was an epic moment for the Palm and for Andy to celebrate. And these women were great.
Once Rinna started dancing on those tables, it was over.
It was over.
And now it's having another moment. Now everyone's saying that this one was whispering that everyone was whispering about Erika's legal troubles at that particular baby shower. I don't know if you know that. So
really? No,
the Palm and all of that is.
Yeah. Oh, really?
They're saying that all these housewives were whispering, Kyle and whoever else was there, about Erika's legal troubles. And that's where people first heard it. So.
Wow. Well, isn't that interesting? Because that traces it back to a different origin than we know as the people who were watching this season. Ooh.
It all comes back to the baby shower. Anything else you want to leave us with? First of all, I really appreciate your time. Sorry to keep you over. I mean, what do you want people to know? I mean, SiriusXM Lunch with Bruce, every Tuesday is a new episode.
Yes, thank you. What I want people to know is I, first of all, love feedback. So if people are listening and they DM me, in any of the quadrants of that little direct message thing, I do check, and someone has given me feedback and my response was constructive feedback. And I responded and they were like, so just touched that I was not like, screw you. But I was like, you know what, you're right. That's a constructive point that I should know. And just how excited I am to bring people in different conversations to people, and that I hope I think people enjoy it as much as I do. But to remember, it's like a conversation. It's just meant in this world where we're so fast, in this world where we don't listen, it's an hour to learn something maybe new about someone that you admire, and just to go back to like old school, old form. And I'm very appreciative to Sirius and Radio Andy for like not only giving me this platform, but to like, nurturing it and making it better and better. So it's been a hell of a lot of fun, and it's like we got a good arc ahead of us. Next level, baby.
Everyone needs to check it out and subscribe and leave a review. 5-star. Listen, it helps. These reviews help. Seriously.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's important. 5 stars.
You got to get your reviews, dear. You got to get those reviews. I mean, it's a great show and everyone's going to listen regardless, but just, it'll look good on iTunes. I'll like make sure you get some reviews. Okay.
Please. Thank you. Thank you. And please send me all this, because I want to be able to share our show.
I will send you all of this. Listen, you're busy, you're speaking with Kathy Hilton, but I really do appreciate this. Like, you've been a great guest. I appreciate everyone at Sirius for making this happen. So just to your whole team and everything, like, for real.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love the pink behind you.
Everyone loves the pink.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
New York living, you could see a little bit of New York out there. Yeah. And so it's kind of a fall day here too. So like, best time in New York.
Yeah.
So
okay. All right.
I love it though. Thank you so much, really.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. And I'll send this to your team.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye.